Greetings, Gunslinger Posse, and welcome to Branded for October 16, 2024. It's Season 2, Episode 1, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. And tonight, we are live from Embers wood-fired restaurants. He's Tom Manas, head coach and general manager of the San Antonio Gunslingers. I'm Ralph Judkins, your host, and it's kind of exciting here at a new location. Would like you to like and subscribe on YouTube, like and follow on Twitter and Facebook, and sound off with a comment for a question for Coach. And boy, we're going to have a heck of a show tonight because there's a whole bunch of guests coming on.
Yeah, we have, first of all, thank you to everybody. We finished our first season and well over 100,000 views, and just excited to be able to do that. And I think it's even less than a year, right?
Yes.
And so, yeah, thank you again to everyone who's been loyal and followed us along the way. We really appreciate you. None of this would be possible without you, and Ralph wouldn't have anything to do on Wednesdays if we didn't have the show.
Nope.
So that being said, we have some special guests tonight, Ralph.
Oh yeah, last minute bookings too.
We've got a couple players coming on board for the fans to meet. Glenn Gibbons is going to be joining us, and CJ Odom. So we got a wide receiver and a running back coming on tonight. And then we have a real special guest coming on in the third quarter. And I'm going to preface this by saying I want you all to start writing your questions after halftime, okay? Because you're going to have a lot of questions for this guest. We have the head of officiating for the Indoor Football League, Tom Falcinelli. Is that close enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. I'm sorry. I always butcher the poor guy's name, but Tom is a great guy. He's going to be coming on and happy to answer any and all of your questions. But here's the deal. Gunslinger fans, let's be kind and polite and congenial, and thank Tom for coming on and joining us to do this. It's a great honor to have him on. You're talking to the guy who hires the officials, fires the officials, monitors them, works harder than everybody at doing his job, and we're going to have him on so you guys can ask him questions. Now, that doesn't mean I don't want to ask him hard questions. Ask him hard questions. If you have a rule question, ask that. If you have anything else to ask it. Just be polite in the way that you do it, okay? If anyone's going to be out of tune and rough on them, let me do it, okay? No, I just kidding, Tom. I'm not going to do that. That's not why we're having you on. We're having you on so everyone can see what you do and hear what you do and get a better understanding of IFL rules. And that's basically what we want to do. So great show coming up. So
oh yeah,
call your friends, get them on.
We'll be right back with the first quarter of Branded in just a moment.
It's the high school football season, the most exciting time of the year.
That's right, Greg, and John Wayne Service Company is in on the action with Texas Sports Productions.
Watch and listen to the hundreds of games this season on the all-new TSP app, and vote for the John Wayne Player of the Game during the games and the John Wayne Player of the Week beginning on Sundays during the season.
Go to johnwayne.com to vote and be automatically entered to win a $10,000 home makeover.
Get in the game today with TSP
and John Wayne Service Company.
All right, team, huddle up. Just like in surgery, we need precision and teamwork. Trust me, just like on the field, if we stick to the playbook, we'll achieve excellence.
Coach, are you sure about this?
We've trained for this. We're experts. The San Antonio Gunslingers and South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital and Outpatient Center where precision meets performance.
Dependability. It's expected by our customers, and it's demanded by me. I personally guarantee the certified techs we send to your home and the equipment we install are dependable. John Wayne's American Pride comfort systems are designed specifically for San Antonio's extreme heat and humidity and come with a lifetime warranty. For comfort you can depend on, call John Wayne today.
John Wayne Service Company is a proud sponsor of the San Antonio Gunslingers.
It's literally like hockey and football had a baby.
Type of action you'll never see in the NFL.
Let's go Gunslingers, let's go, baby! Woo! That's the best entertainment there is. Once you've been to a game, you're going to get hooked.
I guess we ran off some people already. Welcome back to the first quarter of Branded.
We're out on a beautiful patio, and for those of you that aren't in San Antonio, it's absolutely perfect out here.
Yeah.
I bet it's 70 degrees,
Might be.
75 degrees. It's
Might be.
Absolutely gorgeous out here tonight. Beautiful Texas night, and finally some cooler weather.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
We're almost thinking it might be football weather here, but I'm not really sure.
Oh,
because
yeah.
football weather usually doesn't show up around here until December.
Yeah.
Time for the state championship. And that's about it.
You know, it's funny. We're going to talk about the tryout, but when I was looking at the tryout date, I actually went in an almanac.
Huh.
And I looked at it, and then I checked on several weather channels, and they said November's typically dry and warm in San Antonio. So warm can mean anything from 85 to 120. No, but as long as it's dry, that's all I care about. So yeah, for the tryout.
My technical director coach is saying we need to move the microphone over here so you're talking more at it.
Talking more at it?
Yes, just like that.
All right, how's that? Is that better?
I hope that's better.
Is that better?
We'll find out in just
because I'm ready to throw this mic over the wall.
And you're the one that wanted it.
I like the mic. It's just that we're on a balcony over a highway.
Right. And you're right next to the highway and the cars screaming by the road.
That's okay. No, it's still great to be here, and everything's just peachy.
Yeah, and we're psyched to be one of the few news outlets actually happening. So what exactly has been happening at Gunslinger Nation this week? What's new?
Let's talk about the IFL in general.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
there's been a lot going on in the league.
If you haven't heard, the Frisco Fighters and the Duke City Gladiators are going to take a hiatus in 2025. I know that, we got a new team in the freight coming up out of Indianapolis, I think. Indiana.
Yep.
Right. And the biggest thing is, hey, listen, if you followed me at all and for wherever I've been, I'm going to tell you what's going on. I get in a lot of trouble all the time, but I always tell you what's going on. And the reality of it is, Frisco, it's not a money thing. It's not a this thing. It's a family thing. They need to take care of some stuff. So let's be respectful of that. The Germains, the ownership is a great group of people. They're going to do what they need to do, what's best for the Germains at this point. They worked on trying to get another ownership group closed by the time the season started so they could get to the 2025 season. But that's not really what's important, everybody. It's, these are people. So we got to make sure that we understand that. So that part of it there, Duke City, Gina, the owner there, and I spoke several times in the last week or so. And again, it's a family thing. Gina's a fighter, man. She doesn't go quietly into the night. She's just going to reevaluate things, and she has a lot of family things she's got to deal with and take care of. And she's a sweet, sweet person, wonderful person. We wish her the best as well. Now, that being said, we added one, we lost two this year. Hopefully they're back in 26, but it's just one of those things. We lost one in the East and one in the West, and we picked up one in the East. So I told Todd I'd be happy to go to the East if he wanted us to. I'm just saying, no, but he said, yeah, no chance.
Yeah.
So,
well, we asked, folks. The least we asked.
I ask all the time. No, so that's been going on. We're getting through as far as the league stuff goes, talking to a lot of the coaches, free agencies, really going well for everybody. It's going to be a super, super competitive season, 2025. I'm looking forward to it. We still got a big old chip on our shoulder, so we want to do what we do. And but other than that, as far as the league goes, that pretty much is everything I know. As far as gunslingers go, we're waist deep in free agency, and if people follow us, you see all the signings we've been doing, and putting a lot of guys on defense, a lot of defensive backs. Got a few defensive linemen we're going to be announcing next week. A couple linebackers as well. So yeah, big concentration on the defense. We're going to make it one of the better defenses in the league this year. My thing is this, I say this and I truly believe it. I'm looking for our offense is going to score 55, 60 points a game, and we want a defense that doesn't give up more than 25. And I wasn't great at math, but that works out pretty good for us.
Yes.
We can do that, right?
Yes, consistently.
Right. So I think that's what we're looking for. Consistency, Ralph, you're exactly right. Being the operative word is that we just want to be consistent in our approach. And one of the things in recruiting this year that I'm making a very big point of in my vetting is I ask them one simple question, and I say, I only want to sign guys that absolutely, absolutely love football. And if you don't love football, there's a criteria to play here. And that's a big one. But the other ones are, like I said, we're a God family football team. If that doesn't sound appealing to you, don't come here. We pray. We pray before meals. We pray before practice. We pray, before games. We give thanks a lot. So if that's not something you're comfortable with, just say no. That's okay. I'd rather you be comfortable where you're at and me be comfortable with the guys I surround myself with. So we're recruiting's going well on that end. We're prepping for the tryout, which is a little over a month away. We'll get into that heavier in the fourth quarter, but lots of the little stuff. We ordered our uniforms Friday. We're going with Adidas.
That's a change.
Yeah, the entire league is going with Adidas. The whole league will be wearing Adidas apparel, including coaches. So I'm a fan of Adidas. I had them in college, and I really liked them. And when I coached in college, we had them. They do a nice job. And Jordan designed some beauties, you can imagine, as always. So him and I have been busy figuring out numbers and sizes and doing all that stuff. That's done. We talked about some new stuff for sales in our merchandise store. We had a meeting, Don and James and I, and one of the things I brought up was mini helmets. I'd love to know what you guys think of those as collector's pieces.
Let us know, folks.
Yeah, because I got the quote yesterday, and I think we can get some really pretty mini helmets made up. Hoodies, long sleeve tees.
Finally.
Yeah, I know, guys. I've been pushing hoodies.
There's
since
a
the day I got
saga
here.
There is a saga behind that one,
know.
folks.
I want a hoodie. Yeah. So I want a hoodie just so I can cut it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Lisa Holt from Mascatua, Illinois, gunslinger family.
Mm.
I'm sure she would like one too as well, because, well, it's frankly cold up there.
Yeah. I talked to I just talked to Phil, my son, on the way in to say hi to the grandbabies, and I guess they woke up, it was 35 this morning, and
Brisk.
They had a high of 40 something today. So I'm going back to that Saturday. I fly home Saturday for a couple weeks, so I can take the kids trick or treating and do that kind of thing, and then I'll be back. Probably like the 15th of November, and then stay for a few weeks, and then yeah. So we don't miss a beat. We'll still have the show next week remotely, and we're talking about doing a special show too, right, Ralph?
Yes.
So
Talking about doing.
Go ahead. Why don't you tell them about that?
Well, we're actually talking about doing a show in conjunction with the tryout itself.
Right.
That we will be at the tryouts, and we'll be talking to sponsors, coaches if they're available. Coach at the end of the tryout, we may actually get to meet and see any of the signees there.
Yeah, we were talking about,
potentially.
And tell us what you think, because I think it's one of those kind of like when you do a combine in the NFL and they have that thing running all day long on the NFL Network.
Right.
So what I was thinking is we'd probably start the show about 8:30 in the morning and then go to about 12:30 until it wraps. And in that, have guests on. If we sign any players, have them signed live on camera. I think that'd be great, memorable for them, great for our fans. It's open to the fans. Remember,
right, folks.
You can come out. The only thing is Outback is only providing lunch for the players.
Just a few nibbles, just a few bites.
So, yeah,
some chicken wings, the usual fare.
But what I'm saying is, you bring, if you bring your own stuff, we wouldn't get too mad at you if you wanted to sit there on the sideline and have some just be neat. But yeah, we have we're excited about all that stuff coming up.
So that's the news from around Gunslinger Nation here for our old business, as it were, to start the show off. Folks, go ahead and start getting your questions in now. I'll tag them because we're going to have some guests on here real soon. We're looking forward to bringing on our two players, Glenn Gibbons Jr. and CJ Odom, both out of Arizona. Hopefully they will be coming in here real soon to start off the second quarter. Actually getting quite a few comments about how they're going to miss him out in Arizona.
Too bad. No, I'm just kidding. I can see how you'd miss them both.
Yes.
Listen, they're both, we talk about it. It's really kind of funny to say this, but it's when you talk to guys and they say, well, I want to pray on it. I want to talk to my family. I just love that.
Right.
Rather than the guy going, yeah, I'm ready to go. These are guys that, check all the boxes. They really do. They're going to be a great fit here.
Proven assets.
Well, hey, you got to prove, hey, and I tell everybody this, no one has a job coming in the camp. Not one person has got a lock.
Right.
Not one person.
Well, what I meant by that is we know how they're going to perform in the indoor game because they've played in the indoor game. Now, they haven't played here. So, they haven't played under the system.
Here's a great thing. You signed Vi Rivers, right?
Right.
We got Rivers. Oh. So Rivers was defensive player of the year.
Right.
And not arguably, he was the best defensive back in the league.
Yes.
And he's going to be going against the number one receiver in the league
every
day at practice.
Yep.
That
might be some nice matchups to come out and see, folks.
Well, that's why I say to people, you're kind of dumb if you don't show up for practice, because practices are open for the most part, unless we make an announcement the day before. And you can come out and see this stuff every day. You don't have to just see 8 games.
Right.
You could see 50 practices. And some of the coolest stuff in the world happens at practice. And it's free. So come on out.
We're still working on bleachers and a place for the fans to stay.
Yeah, and in the meantime, bring your own chair.
Right.
We have plenty of room under the shade of the trees over there. And you can come and you can watch. And the guys are always very magnanimous. They'll come over and visit with you, sign autographs, do all that kind of stuff. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Shelby Whitaker chiming in saying, I love hoodies. We knew this. We knew this. You knew this. And it's like, well, this is South Texas. We're not sure that would sell.
But here's the thing. Okay. All right. So I want to bring something up. while we have an opportunity before we get the guys on. So last year, I had a meeting with James and I gave him an idea. James took it, put a little bit of stuff to it, took it to Don, and we want to push this narrative this year hard. Okay. So if any of you watched last Sunday's game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions, the best team, number one team in the NFL right now. If you've watched that, you could see that obviously Dallas struggled a little bit. Okay. So Dallas Cowboys are quote unquote America's team, which is true. I don't doubt that. But we went with the narrative and we talked about doing it last year, but we are going to strongly push it this year that we are America's indoor team. Okay.
I really like the sound of that.
Yeah. And
America's indoor team.
Right. Now you can say, well, indoor team or just team. But respectfully so, I'm saying indoor team. But we're America's team, so to speak, in that relationship. We got number one coach show. We got, I think, the best football players in the country coming here and continue to come here. I think we have the best ownership in the country. I think we got the best coaches, assistant coaches, coordinators, all that in the country. And our facility is second to none. So I don't think it's a big stretch to say we're America's indoor football team. So we're going to push that issue. Now, that's all the fun stuff. Let's talk about why, though, in that for a second. It's because we take very seriously our patriotic attitude, where we stand still for the national anthem. We're not waving around, grabbing our jerseys. We got hand on our hearts, coaches, players, standing at attention to the flag. If it's a matter of, if we do Pledge of Allegiance, hands on the heart, standing in there. If it's prayer, head bowed respectfully, again, doing those things. And that's what really makes you into somebody that, or something that you want to bring your kids to see. Okay.
Right.
A lot of people are saying, the NFL's gone too woke and this and that. Hey, listen, NFL is the greatest game in the world. Trust me, with talent and all that. But I'm talking about a family experience where if you bring little Johnny and Janie to the game, you don't have to worry about it if you come to a Gunslingers game, because we're going to be very respectful of those things. And hopefully they can take something home with them. Not physically, not a tangible item, but maybe something that they saw and how people reacted to things or how people behave. And that's what we want to do. We want to push that narrative even further this year. We're already doing it. We just want everyone else to know we're doing it. So.
And that's huge. Yeah. Gary Royal saying absolutely the no fun league. Jim Renier's follow-up comment on the Lions game was he said he won $70 on that game. Thank you, Goff.
I'm telling you what, man, oh God, I just can't believe that leg injury though. Right.
Yeah.
So
that was horrible.
I guess the outcome is pretty good though. I mean, he's out this year, but he will come back. He'll be back within 12 months, and he'll be back for camp next year. So, it's a tibia, broke mine. I know what it feels like. It's not fun. But it's one of those deals where they're going to be just fine. And they're going to make some moves, this week. And I'm sure they're going to just keep doing what they're doing. I love Glenn, though, their defense coordinator. He is, we're playing man. You don't like it? Too bad. It's like they're going against everybody and they're playing man. I mean, it's just crazy how good they're playing right now. Well, they got that pass rush that helps,
Right.
So, yeah. And, the NFL is always going to be the NFL. It's doing great. But does anybody else find it extremely crazy? What are we like in week 6 or 7 now?
Yeah, we're about to. Yeah.
Is that nuts?
Yeah.
How fast is this going? Right? I'm glad it's going fast because that means we play sooner. But it just seems extremely fast. Like the clock is just getting to it, right?
And Ducon wanted to add that he can't do NFL anymore, hasn't liked it for a decade. One of his favorite aspects of indoor football is the family atmosphere.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Coach, one of the comments that somebody told me recently, in fact, it was Kevin, my technical director, who's lurking around here at the.
Why do you say lurking? He's standing there very politely
Yes.
in case we need him for
Yes, exactly.
You make him sound like he's wearing a trench coat. And that
yeah.
hat.
Well, we're here under the lights. Everyone's kind of
It's beautiful out here, man. I'll tell you what. If you're in the area, come on by.
Yeah. He said something that I thought was really, really important, that IFL, indoor football, and the Gunslingers in particular was safe fun.
Yeah.
You're not going to go somewhere and hear gangster rap. You're not going to go somewhere at an IFL game and, I don't know, a cross-dressing show breaks out or something like that. You're not going to see something that you're going to have to spend a lot of time explaining later. You're going to see men trying their very, very best to win a football game. If you come to the Gunslingers, right. You got the six shooters.
Right. But that being said, right, and Ducon, tell me if I'm off base here, because I don't know. This is how I feel about it. The only reason you're seeing all that when you go to a game is because you allow it. Don't forget, we're the fans. We buy the tickets for that. If we just said we're not going to until you do this or this, they would. And the funny thing about it is, all this, you said cross-dressers and all this kind of stuff. I don't want to get into all that. But,
but
what I'm saying is,
political.
Let's just say this. We're so messed up right now that we're letting 1% of less than 1% of our population dictate policy for the other 99% of us. And the same thing's true with your quality of entertainment that you want to have on a Saturday night. Okay. Look, I actually like rap. Okay. I don't dislike it. There's some I like more than others. I like more old school stuff than new school, but I don't care about your music. I don't care about that. Frankly, I don't care. Whatever you want to do, just don't do it where I can see it or hear it or smell it. Right. And then that's fine. But what's happening is we're letting it happen, and we're all saying, oh, it's terrible that they're doing this. Well, we can stop it. You can start on November with your vote.
Right.
But
we're not going to be political tonight.
No, I'm going to tell everyone, though, if I have any impact on something that you like, don't like, whatever, just do me a favor. Go register and vote. Make sure you're in it to win it this year, because it's never been more important.
Yeah, you can't complain. Well, we have both of our players lined up and our special guest in queue right now.
Holy cow.
So I think we need to move on to the second quarter here and come back with CJ Odom and Glenn Gibbons, the newest gunslingers in town, and our special guest, Tom Falcinelli. I'm telling you, folks, you need to start queuing up your questions now.
No. After halftime.
Okay,
because they'll get buried in here.
That's true.
Just wait till after halftime. Then you can start doing them.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment with the second quarter. Gibbons and Odom on the way. You're watching Branded live from Embers.
Reputation. It defines us. How we treat the customer contributes to our reputation. It's doing the right thing every time and never cutting corners. John Wayne's customers have rewarded us with over 15,000 five-star reviews and an A+ rating with the BBB. And for that, we thank you. John Wayne Service Company, our reputation is in every truck.
John Wayne Service Company is a proud sponsor of the San Antonio Gunslingers.
It's so easy to love Pick and Pull. Why? How about the largest inventory in South Texas? How about the ease of finding your part with our interchange and real-time inventory search at pickandpullsa.com? How about an organized yard and maps to find your parts, plus a shuttle? At Pick and Pull, we make it easy to save money on the quality used auto parts you need at a price you can afford.
More to pick, less pull from your budget. Now that's Pick and Pull.
For generations, the family recipes at Carrabba's Italian Grill have been bringing people together. From the sweet smell of our scratch-made sauce to our rich layers of lasagna, we believe food made with love leads to tables filled with laughter. Dine with us or order out at carrabbas.com.
And that's our new opening, just cut and released to me today.
Yeah. Robert, my man. We have the absolute best production director, creative guy in the planet when it comes to this stuff. He can make an old dog like me look okay. He is the absolute best, and I just want to thank him from the bottom of my heart for that. He wanted to give us that for a fresh opening. We played it again just so I could smooch on him for a minute and let him know how grateful we are. Just talked to him a little while ago through text. He said he's getting ready. He's going to shoot another commercial for us too.
Great.
We listen. You guys know you have 101 different choices of things that you can do on a Wednesday night.
Right.
And the fact that you're with us, we so appreciate it. And Robert tries to make it fresh for us and exciting, and all those great videos you see on our social media. That's that guy. Robert, I love you. End of story. Okay. So our first guest
Yes.
is CJ.
Yep. We'll bring CJ Odom on to the screen now. There he is. I guess we'll
CJ. How are you?
What's going on?
Look at those teeth, man. You're so happy. Look at you. That's great. CJ and I, we talked, obviously we went through the process, and I think we found out we had a lot more in common than people think, and the way we think, the way we act, what we believe in, those kind of things. And I'm a softie for guys like that. And then you had a great football player with tremendous talent. But again, we recruited character that just happens to play great football. So, CJ, do me a favor, would you? I know you got about 800 people watching this, right? So you got to mention some names. But also tell us about you personally. Give us a little bit of your story so people who don't know you get to know you.
Well, I'm from Compton, California. Came from a rough neighborhood, but I always just had my parents. It was me and my mom for a very long time, like 9 years old. Then my stepdad came around, and he's been like my real dad. So it's really just been us. I grew up in a tough neighborhood. Ended up moving to Salt Lake City when I got to high school.
Wait a minute, you went from Compton to Salt Lake City?
And it was a culture shock for sure. I hated
you were
it.
the only black guy in Salt Lake City.
Easily. Every school, no matter what city I was in. And then the closest thing to black was Polynesian. So I was around Polynesians, you know what I mean? But it was cool. I was always around. I was always treated like family. I just always been a guy that's been around just good camaraderie. I ain't never been around too many negative people. They don't even come my way. So that's definitely a blessing that I could walk in.
Well, you know what, CJ, though, people like yourself are only going to gravitate people that are like you. because I find that people that, because I put it out there, that know that I'm not their cup of tea because I act this way or do this, they bounce off me. They bounce off me. And that's a great thing to be, and I love that you just said what you said. They don't even come bother me because they already know.
Right.
Great. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Oh, I do have one more question.
Yeah.
So when you say Polynesians, because when I was in school, I was like the only brown guy because I'm Greek, right? And I went to school in Kansas, and everyone had, everyone looked like Ralph. Okay. So when I got there, I started hanging around my guys, which were all Samoans, Tonga, Pacific Rim guys that we had. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm
There
talking
you go.
about.
These are people that like to eat.
Yeah.
They're people that like to eat.
Well, one of my
music.
Grandpa liked to eat people.
Yeah.
From the old days.
Okay. Well, no, that's not what I'm referring to. But
no, but
yeah,
it's
family,
a great culture.
Music, yes.
It's
yes.
just like our culture, like your culture.
Yeah.
Like my culture, it's all family and it's that kind of thing. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah,
carry
definitely.
on.
And and then I really my parents, they made that move to kind of just, they seen that I was just a kid. I was just trying to grow. I just wanted to play football, so they just wanted me to stay out the street. So they made that move for me. Came out here, and football wasn't always like my best sport. It took me a while to like come as far as like the aggression and stuff. I didn't really start getting good at football until I got to Utah. So that's when everything started to fly for me. I got to high school, I started balling. And then really I'm just a real family oriented guy. My family mean everything to me. I do a lot of things for my family. They let me be able to grow up and be myself. So I feel like I owe them the world. You know what I mean? And
who did I talk to on the phone for that?
My dad, but my mom
your
was
dad,
right there.
right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
What a great guy. I mean, we clicked. When we got done, he goes, "I'm packing his suitcase right now, coach." We had so much fun on that call.
Whether
right?
he wants to come or not.
Yeah. No, he wanted to hear what we are, and it was important for CJ because CJ and
That's
I
huge.
had already had the conversation.
Yeah.
And CJ is such a respectful guy. He wanted his family to hear the same thing that he heard and get their opinion. And I was happy to do that. And we scheduled a call and he got on there and we talked about everything: God, family, country, football,
the important stuff.
I don't think we talked much football. I think we talked more about all the other stuff. And I told him the same thing I tell all the kids and their parents, and I'm gonna treat you like you're my son, while you're here and look after you. So, no, great family and all that. Where'd you go to college?
I went to Texas A&M Kingsville. I went to Angelo State first, and then I transferred to Texas A&M Kingsville for my senior year. Yes, sir.
Tell me about your college career.
College was good. I was always in a system to where I shared the touches, so I would get about 10, 12 touches a game, and that was fine. You know what I mean? It kept my body fresh. Now I'm at this level. I feel like I still got years to go, and no surgeries. Blessed to not have to do with any of that. So college went good. I was on the team. Both of the teams I played for, when I was at Kingsville, that's one of the best records that we've had in a while. We went 10-3. And then when I was at Angelo, we made it to all the way to the third round of the playoffs. So very successful college career.
Oh, that's great. And then you went to, was Arizona your first team?
Yes, that was my first team. I went to Arizona fresh out of college. So I graduated and I went straight there, not even 2 months later. So I played football for a whole year straight.
Tell the people as a running back, what was the culture shock with the walls and the short field and the narrow field and the fast pace? What was that like?
I feel like for me, it wasn't the thing that really threw me off was just how much faster the game was. I'm used to outdoors, so I would take my read step. I'll let my guard get around. You know what I mean? I had more time. I went to practice the first day. I'm taking my read step. They're like, hit it. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? What do you mean hit it? You just want me to get the ball and run? But that's something that I had to find out about the IFL, that it was different. But as far as the walls and stuff, I get my foot in the ground and I get upfield. I'm looking for people to hit. So that wasn't really no difference for me. It didn't feel like it was too narrow. I'm a physical runner as it is. So that
and you're a big kid, right? I mean, you're
sir.
what, 6'2", 225?
Yes, sir.
That's it, right? See, I
Yes,
know
sir.
my guys. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So he's a big dude. He's coming downhill. These little DBs. Good luck. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're
Yeah,
gonna
they better make sure that helmet's strapped up because I'm looking for the cop.
well, we love physical for sure. Coach Fuller with the offense and what he's designed, and we have a great run game, and I think we have the best offensive line going, and everybody's coming back. And then we added Matt Burrell to that group, and it's gonna be some animals up there for you.
Yes, sir.
So it's great. So okay, we covered that. Now we got to do this. We got to get some names out there. Okay, you got to say hi to some people because I know they're watching, and that way it's etched in time forever on here. So go ahead.
Yes, sir. I just really my mom, Mia Green, my dad, Marcus Green. I got a few childhood buddies that I still talk to this day. My boy Cam, that just kind of just kept me on the straight path. My boy Jaden Appleby, that's like my blood brother. And then just my little brothers and sisters, Makayla, Malachi, Carmia, my little niece Layla. I give my life for theirs. So that's really all I'm about. I got a small circle, so
all right. Well, we're anxious to get you here and be in shape.
Yes, sir.
We have a good camp every year. I always tell guys, come in shape so I don't have to condition you like an animal. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That way we can learn rather than, be running sprints all day.
Mary Picasso says, welcome to the family. And Gary Royale, who is a fan from your times in Arizona, saying someone will get hurt and it won't be CJ.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to Gary, man.
So looking forward to seeing you here and seeing you play, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you once again. Go ahead, bud.
And once again, Coach, thank you for the opportunity, man. I'm excited to get to work.
CJ, my pleasure, buddy. We're glad to have you. You take care. Give your family my best. God bless, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yes, sir. Will do.
All right, buddy. Have a good night.
Yes, sir.
Bye
you
now.
too.
That has been CJ Odom, who will be joining us at running back this year, or at least
he'll be competing.
Yeah,
at running back.
Yeah, there's no guarantees here.
No, I don't mean it like that. I just mean it like Harper's a great running back.
Oh,
we have Harper coming back, and it's just nice that we have that that opportunity to bring a guy like CJ in. He's just a good guy, man. He's just a really good guy. I hope he comes in and competes hard and is ready to make this football team. So
we ready for our next one?
Who's that? Glenn Gibbons. I'm just kidding. I know. All right. Yeah, let's get Glenn on.
All right. Welcome to the stage, Glenn Gibbons Jr.
Yay. Can you guys hear me? You guys can hear me?
We hear you fine.
All right, there we
go. I think you've done this before.
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah.
We got him on. So how you doing, buddy? You good?
I'm good. I'm blessed. Mike Jones, that's my stepdad. Shout out to him already.
Yep. He says he's watching from St. Charles, Missouri.
Good. There we go.
Glenn Gunslinger Gibbons. That's kind of got a nice ring to it.
I like it. Well, I'll tell you what, since we signed Glenn, my phone's blown up. Here's the questions I get. How'd you do it? What did you do? You can't do that.
Watch us.
How come you got him? One of those things. And I always just smile and say, you know what? We're lucky. We're blessed.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I'm going to kind of do the same thing I did with CJ, your counterpart from Arizona. And I just wanted to, first of all, just let the people know who you are personally, your professional, track and how you went on from there. So
absolutely.
Why don't you go ahead?
Well, one shout out to CJ. CJ, great guy. Once we linked up in Arizona, he was my road dog from the time I got there to the time we left. So I'm super excited that we're able to play again with each other. That's awesome. But a little bit about me. My name is Glenn Gibbons Jr. I'm a military kid, so I've been around, almost the whole world. I was born in Germany, and I came all the way back to the United States. Yeah, that's my fun fact. I tell everybody I was born in Germany.
Can you speak German?
Nope, not at all.
Nope. Okay.
Nope.
What hospital?
I was born in Heidelberg, Germany.
Heidelberg. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Ralph was stationed there for quite a while, right?
Yeah, I was in Germany, early 90s.
Okay. I
Long
was born
time
in
ago.
99. So I
All
don't
right.
remember too much about Germany. I was there for maybe a year or two. But I came over back to the States. And I grew up in a small town called Muscoda, Illinois. It's about 20 minutes from downtown St. Louis. It's right next to Scott Air Force Base. I grew up there for a majority of my life. Moved around just a little bit. I went to school at Illinois College first, was a D3 school. Then I was fortunate enough to transfer. I had a pretty solid career at Illinois College. I played 2 years there, and I made the jump, bet on myself, really prayed on God, and I was like, I feel like I can be better and I can go better. So I jumped up to Lindenwood now, FCS D1 school. I actually played CJ. He went to San Angelo. We actually played each other there too. But I went to Lindenwood for 2 years. I was a walk-on, and I ended up getting a full ride there. I became a two-year captain. So I've been very blessed and fortunate to be in some good positions on a lot of good football teams. We were able to take our team to first time in Lindenwood history to go back-to-back playoffs, GLVC conference championships, and then from there it's been on up blessings. I went to Northern Arizona for my first year in the IFL. 2022, I was fortunate enough to win a national championship there. Then the following year, I stayed at Northern Arizona one more year. Then I made the jump and went to Arizona the following year last year, and we were fortunate enough to win another national championship. And then
boo.
Yeah.
We should have been playing you. That's all I'm gonna say. Go ahead.
I appreciate you, Coach. I appreciate you. And
hey, listen, Coach Guy, they don't come better. You know, I'm happy for him. Got that little jinx off his back and got another one. So I'm happy for him.
Arizona is a great organization. But I'll tell you this. One, I told Coach that my family lives in San Antonio. I live in San Antonio. I've lived here the last 3 years in San Antonio.
Hang on a second. Jen, did you hear that? Our director of sales and marketing. Did you hear Glenn lives in San Antonio? Glenn Gibbons? Glenn Gibbons lives in San Antonio. So you think you can get him some gigs?
Absolutely.
She said absolutely can.
I love that. D1 Northwoods, if you guys have heard of it. I'm a strength coach up here at D1 Northwoods. Been coaching up here for about 2-3 months now. So San Antonio is where I stay. My family's here. Coach, once again, appreciate you. Called him. We were able to get in contact. And I already knew just from the area that I wanted to play here. I knew I wanted to play here. I got to talk to Coach. Loved his personality. Love what he brought to the team. When we came and played in San Antonio, I loved the organization. I love the fan base, and I already know. I was like, if I get a chance to sign here, I'm signing to San Antonio.
Yeah, he was a really hard sign.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
Arm twisting, and
arm twisting.
But here's the thing, right? Okay, so just because he lives in San Antonio doesn't qualify him to be on the team.
No,
but everybody listening to him speak, articulate, talk, his thought process, his leadership as captain for 2 years in college, the ability to bet on himself, all those factors are why I really wanted Glenn. I mean, then, oh, by the way, he's a really good football player. Remember what we said, character, than that. And plus, he's a military kid. Now you're in Military USA.
Yeah, Military City, USA. But you already knew that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got to get you hooked up with our sponsors, and we have
Operation Triage guys. I can
the
see
Army
them.
and everybody else. What branch was your family in?
My dad was he's retired Army.
Yeah, he had to be Army.
The U.S. Army is one of our sponsors.
Oh yeah. Retired.
So we got a great guy for that now. In addition to many others that are going to be. That's why I said our sponsors are going to be fighting over these kids.
Should be.
They really are, because they're all so good. Yeah.
Yep.
So we had a question come in.
Yeah.
Ralph
Right.
kind of said, should I ask him? And I said, yeah, ask him. So
well, this is on behalf of Monica Marin from Sports Coast to Coast, one of the few they focus on. They have a whole section on the IFL. You're familiar with them.
Yeah.
Monica says, Glenn, what do you hope to bring to the Gunslingers from the perspective as a veteran? I'm hoping he says a championship.
Of course. That's number one priority, a championship. Brent Holmes here, he's the head strength coach here. This is his hometown. He was a big receiver in the AFL back in the day, and Ray as well. And they were telling me just like, bro, bring a championship to San Antonio. We need one. And that's the first focus, of course. But I want to just bring my leadership. I want to lead from the front. I want to lead just how I normally do it. I don't do a lot of talking with my leadership. It's all action. I always lead from the front. I try to pull guys up the mountain, not away from it. And I feel like if we can all get on the same path just like that, I have all the faith in the world that this team can win a championship. This city can win a championship because this city deserves one, 100%.
Yeah. You like that?
Oh, yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds
doesn't
very,
it?
very familiar.
Yeah.
And because he's lived here, he knows the history of professional football in San Antonio and the futility of it all when it comes to a championship.
Well,
and we're looking to change that.
I don't want to say futility because I'm not going to get into it. I'll get into it in the third quarter.
Yes.
When Tom's on. No, but we have the head of officiating coming on, Glenn, just so you know. Next quarter. So, the biggest thing is right now what we're trying to do is we're trying to create an environment of Glens.
Yes.
Right. And, all of them, the DJs and the Murrays and all of them, they're all like cookie cutter character guys when it comes to that. And, I say this all the time. Players will quit on teammates. They won't quit on family.
Mm-hmm.
They'll never quit on family. So we create that family atmosphere. That's the first thing we do. Day one of camp is we push that narrative because it's a long season and it's a tough season. It's no joke. But anyway, Glenn, I wanted you to take a minute and before we let you go and say your highs and hellos to family, friends, loved ones, and props. Okay, go ahead.
My mom, my biggest supporter, my number one supporter, my best friend, Lisa Holt. She commented down here, but that's my rock right there. Big shout out to her. Big shout out to my stepdad. Without them, I wouldn't have ever been able to come this far. They've always supported my dreams, no matter where I'm at, what I wanted to do. When I made the move to San Antonio, she's all for it. Went to Arizona, all for it. She just let me know where I need to be at and when, and that she'll be there. So. Number one supporter. I couldn't do it without her. Big shout out to her. Obviously, got to give it up to my Lord and Savior. Without him, none of this is possible. Me and Coach talked about it. Faith is big, important to my family and just the football team in general. So,
amen.
Amen to that. All my friends, all my homies that helped me back in the day, that keep me straight, the core. My brothers and sisters, my oldest sister Dolores. That's my other rock. That's my other twin. She's 8 years older than me, but she knows. Just anyone that I didn't mention, they know it's all love, and it always will be love. Anyone who helped me on this path. There's a long list of people, and I wish I could remember and give all my thanks to everybody, but they know, like, if it's not said, they know it's all love at the end of the day.
Well, here's the thing, Glenn. We got the trial coming up November 23rd, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Here in San Antonio. So, when I come back, we're gonna have the trial, but that week I want to have you come by GSN. I'll give you the tour and then hopefully have you out at the tryout so you can talk to the guys too. So
absolutely,
we'll have a couple players out there.
Yeah.
I know DJ.
Can I get him? Can I get him on the show? Can I get
absolutely.
GS on the show?
Yeah. If I knew you were in town today, I would have had you down here live. But that's okay. You're working anyway, so
yeah, all good. We can make it happen.
You do your thing, and we'll get you on live. Maybe on that day.
That'd be great.
On the 23rd. So
yeah, we can make it happen.
Glenn, thanks so much, buddy.
I
Love you much,
Coach.
and I appreciate you being here. And looking forward to seeing you soon. All right.
I appreciate you. Guns up. Let's bring this chip here.
Guns up, buddy. You got to do it. There you go.
Oh, he did
there
it
it
early.
is. There it is. Yeah, I already know.
Okay,
yes,
he's
sir.
there.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds
Bye
good. I
now.
appreciate you guys.
That is Glenn Gibbons Jr., one of our newest signees to the Gunslingers. And if you know indoor sports or indoor football, the IFL in general, you know who that man is.
What'd I say? Right?
Yep.
I mean, come on. They get better and better and better and better every day. Every day.
Mom says, thanks, Coach, for giving Glenn the opportunity to play for the Gunslingers.
Thanks,
Looking
Mom,
forward.
for having him.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we're the lucky ones.
Yes.
We are the lucky ones. And you've done one heck of a job raising that young man, and it's obvious, and you should be very, very proud of him. And yeah, so great job.
So is now the time we tell them to start firing up their questions?
Yep, you can get them ready. We're going to halftime.
Yep,
So
we're going
when we
to
come
talk
back.
to,
We'll have Tom on.
we're going to have Tom Falcinelli, head of officiating for the Indoor Football League. And there is so many things that he does behind the scenes every single time to improve. But Tom can tell us all about that when we return. You're watching Branded live from Embers Wood-Fired Restaurants. Branded brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. We'll be back with the second half in just a moment.
We all need hot water. Some of us need more than others. So it's a good thing that State has a wide range of tough commercial-grade water heaters for your home. From standard models to high-efficiency and tankless models, we've got you covered, no matter where you live, what you do, or who started it. To install a State water heater in your home,
Call John Wayne today or visit us at johnwayne.com.
Hey San Antonio, are you tired of the same old chain pizza that tastes like cardboard? I thought we were done eating paper in school. Maybe not. It's up to you. At Matanga's, we bring you flavors that are authentically Texan. We're talking about fresh dough that we made in store every single day. We're talking about cheese that's shredded in store for that authentic cheese flavor. We're talking about brisket because this is Texas, y'all. We're talking about our Texas roll. Can't get those anywhere else. We're talking about Texas ranch because when you put jalapenos and ranch together and you dip it in with pizza, just drink it. Lastly, we got a pothole pizza because we had to name a pizza after our roads. You know what I'm talking about. Can't wait to see you soon. Find a Matanga's near you.
Welcome to South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital, an outpatient center. Step into our operating rooms, where highly skilled surgeons work hand in hand with specialized technicians. Our dedicated team has extensive experience and expertise in spine and surgical procedures. Our commitment to patient safety is unwavering. We understand that your well-being is at the heart of everything we do. South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital, an outpatient center where expertise, longevity, and state-of-the-art technology come together for your health.
And welcome back to the third quarter.
Dun, 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 dun.
And coming to the stage, Tom Falcinelli, the head of officiating for
Hi,
the
Thomas.
IFL. Good evening, sir.
How are you, buddy?
Good evening. I'm great.
He doesn't sound great, does he?
No.
He never sounds great. I
Yeah.
come up and goes, what?
Well, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
He's a white hat, man. You can't help it. It's funny. We had a good chat the other day. So it finally came out, Tom. No Frisco, no Duke City, huh? So
Surprise to me, you know.
Well, now at least you kind of got a handle on some refs, maybe having some openings, right? Maybe.
Well, I'm not so sure about openings. We're gonna lose a lot of people with the loss of those two teams, but you know, we'll
Yeah.
see what happens. We have put a proposal in at the owners meeting during Vegas, and I think it was presented well. I think it went over pretty well, and hopefully
It did.
it'll get voted in, and you know, we can fix some of our issues that we have.
Well, let's talk about, first of all, I think Don Reckler was one of the first ones to say, we're in. Why don't you tell us what you can? We don't necessarily have to go into tiers and all that, but what the proposal entails to a certain degree.
Well, first all is an increase in the game fee for these officials. They in dire need of that. Um, Unfortunately, these officials most of them are very, very dedicated. They're Division I officials working because they know they're getting snaps in the off season at a high speed. And you do this for a summer and you get back onto the field in the fall. The NCAA game has slowed down completely for you. It makes you better. So they're here for that. That is a value, but we still got to treat them with some respect and get them some payment more than they'd be making it Division III football, so to speak. I mean, it's a pro league, so hopefully it goes
100%.
You know, and get a little bit of travel in there so we can move officials around a little bit, so you're not stuck with the same. And with less number of officials, there will be more games for them because when they're localized and you go on the road for 4 weeks, well, the officials don't work for 4 weeks. It's hard to stay in it. Now they do the weekly stuff, the testing, the video review, but when you're not actually on the field, for 4 weeks,
Tom,
it's like, hey, that's
because I know about this, but talk about that. Talk about how, okay, let's say the first regular season games go down. What do you do that Sunday after the games on Saturday?
Well, prior to the week, we have evaluators that grade they get the film. So what happens is the officials have to download their foul report into QuickRef, which is a system that almost every Power 5 conference uses. One does not, and most of the lower Division I schools use it. It's a reporting system, an evaluation system. So the officials, they start right there. Hopefully they don't leave the locker room without bringing an iPad or a computer in, and they enter their fouls, what they called, what they passed on, and the reasons, they categorize a foul. Hey, I had a hold, it was a grab and restrict, or I had DPI, it was an arm bar. So they have to categorize their fouls. If they passed on something, they have to write down, hey, I saw a takedown hold, but the score was 40-0 with 3 minutes to go. I passed on it. That just kind of gums up the works. So they get that entered. We pray that the game film is available for us Sunday afternoon, and the graders have at it. They start downloading the film, and every play of every single game is looked at by an evaluator. They put all the information, the grades, so to speak, into the QuickRef report. And then as that's going through, then I start looking at it. And then what I do is I will write comments in there too. And my comments go in red. And what that does, there's say 8 games a week, and that's 8 foul reports that are very lengthy. So we tell the officials, look, you have to look at your own foul report to see how you did, but you also need to review the other foul reports. And if you're short on time, at least read the red comments, because that means I have gone in there and I've addressed whatever issue that play had, and everyone in the whole staff can see that. And hopefully, hey, we'll do it this way, or we won't make that mistake. And we're tough on them. They get grades. A 0 is a good score. A +1 is very rare when you did something very well. And then you have -1s, -2s, -5s. And so if you end up the game with a 0, you had a great game. But that's rare.
Yeah.
-3,
Okay.
-2, that's okay also.
So you literally watch every foul or penalty.
Oh, yeah. I review every foul report and look at it. And, as I'm going through it, there's also an indicator in the foul report that the grader has to check, is this training tape material? So if they believe that it's something worthy of the training tape, now, you got 150 plays times 8. That's a lot of plays. That's a lot of check marks. And then it helps me, just guides me, hey, they think it's training tape material. Let's see if I'm going to put it on that week, because we want to limit that to about 20 plays.
Yeah.
So
everyone knows, then Tom sends out to the coaches. He sends us out anything that he feels like we need to see, or what a call was, or why a call was made, and things like that. And then it could be from any team. So I might see something that happened in Green Bay or Arizona or San Antonio. So it's anywhere. And then that helps us when it comes time for rules or, anything like that. So
And the coaches can send in plays through the quick ref system. It's really well set up that I'll get an email generated. Hey, 8 plays here. The coach wants to comment on. We have plays for review, which are from last week's game, or preview plays for future games. Like a coach will say, hey, I'm playing, so-and-so next week, and I need you to look at this play here and this play here. Was this legal what they did because there was no flag down? And I'll say, yeah, that's legal because of A, B, and C. Or, hey, the guys missed the call, and you're correct, coach. That should have been called because we're not perfect.
Yeah, that's probably the worst thing to hear.
Right.
Is rather than a call is we missed a call. The thing about it is one of the things I told Tom at the owners meetings was I said, and I know Mike Davis brought this up in Vegas too. He said, it's just when you try to compel a referee to understand when they've maybe made a egregious error that was obvious. And we explained to him, I said, this is how coaches lose their jobs.
Right.
We get fired for a loss like this, or we get, questioned by the media on a play like this. And it becomes more and more difficult. And I think that through this new program, this new initiative that Tom's presented to the owners, that will eliminate a lot of this because you're getting the best of the best or better anyway. Right. And so we're all for it. We're excited about it.
We are one of the most accountable officiating organizations in the country at any level.
I
with
believe
the grades, which are very difficult, what we require, weekly testing, video testing that we have, scores are recorded, and you should get 100 on them because it's all game tape from training tapes, plays from training tapes. And how do we know? Another accountability method is we see something in a game and the official made a mistake and we're like, that was on the training tape last week, clear as day, how to make that call. And that tells me, hey, that official didn't watch tape this week.
Right.
It reflected on the test scores. And that's how everyone's on a 1-year deal as far as the officials are concerned. It's a 1-year deal. You're not guaranteed to come back next season.
Yeah.
And then, hey, why I'm not coming back? And we can point out to them, hey, go look at this game, and, be accountable.
I was one of the few coaches that brought up, I said, I want to see our reffing crew's grades after a game. Like, I want to see what they scored out at. All right. Whether it's great or not so great, I want to know what their grades are. And it's not so much so I can go and bust their chops. It's so I know how to adjust my game. Like if I know he's calling holding where I don't necessarily see holding, I know that I have to adjust that my next game that he's going to be an official at and remind our players not to do this because it's going to get a call or not to get a call or whatever the case is. But Tom, just real quick, are there any new rules for 2025?
That'll be discussed. I usually kind of make proposals, and we always are looking forward to making the game easier to officiate. For example, last year, for years, we've had the illegal blitz, and the blitz had to be in the alley in the A gap. And we had this rule that said any time that the blitzer went outside the defensive end or outside the offensive guard, it was an illegal blitz by rule. So the guard could block down, the blitzer goes straight up. It's an illegal blitz by rule because he's outside the guard. And it was one of those things that, the proposal was made. Let's get rid of that. Let's just make any blitz within the alley to be legal. The offensive coaches put up a big stink. I'm going to have to put a blocker back there if they can go straight up the edge when we block down. And there was a lot of pushback. And after the season was done, I look back and I'm like, my goodness, the players adapted. There was no issues whatsoever. So I'll tell you what, I would really like this year, I'm going to propose that we limit the illegal twist, which is a nightmare call to make.
Oh,
We'll still make it illegal but it has to be done immediately at the snap. You cannot twist. But these delayed twists, for example, the rule says if you are blocked into a twist,
right,
it's an illegal twist. And you'd have these speedy defensive ends that are about 190 pounds getting blocked by a guy that's 260, and they just shove him inside while the quarterback's in the alley. It's an illegal blitz because he got blocked into it. Why do we have that? But that's the way it's been for years. So I'm looking to say, hey, yeah, we got to prohibit the twist, but let's just make it an immediate twist being legal, because then stuff breaks down, and it's a very difficult call to make, and we spend a lot of time on it in replay, and my referees do a really good job in replay determining whether the blitz was or whether the twist was there or not. But hey, let's get rid of that. Just make it illegal at the snap and go from there. So we'll see what happens.
It's going to make it a little hard to throw a red flag at that and go fishing, as some coaches are prone to do. Not our guy, but some coaches will go fishing for a twist or an illegal defense.
Well, you know,
and I think this is great.
It's interesting. It will, you know, from a defensive standpoint, you know, you have to take everything into consideration. And I get it. I mean, this is an offensive game. Everything is set up for it to be an offensive game. But my thought was, I like it, but I don't like it. But I like it more than I don't like it, kind of thing. You know, like I could see it helping more than hurting. And that's probably the best way to put it.
And I got to say, Coach, this is going to be.
I remember the pushback last year on the blitz rule, and when you look at the season, how it went, it was great. And remember how your guys dancing right along that line, and don't challenge.
It's a hard, and it's subjective, because if you're not by a landmark, you know, you're kind of guessing where the guy was, right?
Right. And it's tough, especially with the angles, you know, and you know, the fans need to understand, for example, the headlines, you know, the wing officials, just pre-snap. What's he got to do? He's got to first check. Okay, we're snapped at the 24, you know, the plus 24. I got to know the belt is the 19 now. Pre-snap. Where's my belt? Where's my DB? Is he inside that belt? Is he inside the belt at the snap? If he is inside the belt at the snap, is he aligned? That's all pre-snap, snap checkdowns that people think, oh, they're just looking for offsides and pass interference. So much is going on pre-snap. It's the most difficult game in the world to officiate.
Oh, I bet. I don't doubt that, Tom. I have one. I have a request. And this is probably, I would guess, 100% of the offensive coaches want, and probably 100% of the head coaches want, and probably 10% of the defensive coaches want. I want to be able to challenge PI.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm telling you that more games are won and lost on a PI than in our game. It's crazy.
You know, I don't really have an opinion either way. We enforce the rules as the owners decide, present it.
Right.
Now, I will tell you, if a coach wants to, you know, do that, hey, he's only got 2 challenges. You know, that I don't see a problem with that.
You can't challenge a PI though.
No, you can't right now. The first year we did replay, I was tasked with coming up with the rules for replay by the former commissioner. You know, a month before the season, I said, this can't be done. And I jokingly said, challenge everything. Everything's challengeable. He says, okay. And that was a disaster. It was anything was challengeable the first year. And I did it jokingly.
But 2 flags though, right? I mean, if you only have 2 flags, what's the difference?
We only had 2. But yeah, and if coach wants to use it that way. So again, I don't make the rules. We just find a way. We enforce them. If they want to say PI can be challenged, like I said, we can have illegal contact, which is a judgment call, but illegal contact inside the belt by a defender not aligned is challengeable because we
Tom,
had so many
talking
players.
rape. Okay, I'm talking rape. Okay, I'm talking the guy getting raped and no call, and then they needed that to either win the game or put the game in overtime.
Yeah,
or something
I don't
like
have.
that.
Like I said, we just enforce them as the owners tell us what they want to rule. I don't have a problem making.
So let me throw this one at you, because this was another one that, let's say we don't have the best ref crew at a game, okay? And a coach uses his red flags to no avail, but he's out of them. And you're in the last minute of the game, okay? I'm a firm believer we go NFL and we review any scores. upstairs.
I can agree with that. Right now, in the rules, we have a command decision by the referee, and I've told them that if there's a scoring or potential scoring play on the last play of the game, just review it. And they do. Now, if it happens with 30 seconds left, we're not going to do it. But
Right.
if they make the proposal every in the final minute, scoring plays are reviewed. Hey, let's do it. Only problem is, unfortunately, 90% of the calls are going to stand because we're just not going to have the angle that we need
I
with
get
the
that.
lack of
But
camera.
Tommy, here's the thing. That takes the heat off of you, though. But my thing is, with most of I like a lot of games, I would probably say at least 50%, 40%, 50% of the games are won and lost in the last minute of a football game in the IFL. And just to have the ability to have that play reviewed, the score reviewed, and even if you review it and say, okay, we didn't have an angle, we didn't know it, okay, so can't review it because of the angle. The other thing is, this year you allowed the refs to look at the jumbotrons, right?
We had to say the rule is you look at anything you can, because
Right.
sometimes
I tried to get a rep to look at it and he wouldn't.
like there was a call in a game that was just out. I'm like, how the heck did they not reverse this? And I knew why. After the game, they called me. They said, Tom, we didn't have the shot that TV had in review. We didn't have it. Or maybe the home team production didn't give it to them, but nonetheless,
Right.
they did not have the shot that we had it on TV, and they couldn't change the call. Now the
Yeah,
new
I know we
video
have YouTube. Hang on, Tom. I know we have YouTube. We have the internal shots. We have all that because they come and ask us for the iPad, like our iPads too, to
Right.
look at anything. And for the most part, I mean, they go out of their way to try to get the angle. But there's some stuff where, like, I'm looking at it and I can see it on my iPad, and they come out of the thing and they say no call, or we're not going to reverse. And I'm thinking it's right here. I thought Coach Fuller was going to have an aneurysm on one of our calls like that. And the thing about it is, I empathize with, you can only go with what you want. But I think the white hats have got to make a sincere effort of gathering as much data as they can before they arbitrarily just say, oh, I didn't have the angle. Like, here's a YouTube, there's a Jumbotron, here's the internal.
Our upper echelon referees will do that. And with the new video company that's coming in this year, finally, I was talking to them. I was talking to them at the meetings, and we were explaining about replay and how the lack of cameras, and they told me it's going to be very, very reasonably priced to get a fixed camera on each goal line, down the sideline shot. I mean, when they said the price, I don't want to quote it because I don't remember. I said, I thought they were going to say thousands of dollars for each camera. It was, I said, oh my God, what owner would not shell out for that? It's a one-time outlay to get the setup. You have a down the line shot, down the sidelines, for those over the wall catches. You have a goal line shot, and it's just putting in the extra cameras that the prior provider did not have. They had, the 50-yard line.
Yeah, I know this isn't your lane, but you brought up a good point, because we were presented with this new video system, right? Monitoring system. Do you remember, like, they were saying something like it's instantaneous with stats and data and everything else, right?
I remember them saying that.
Right. That
we got the same push from the last company, and it wasn't. So,
well, I hope they are. But they were saying something to the effect that, like, at the end of the quarter, I can see all the stats. At the end of the half, I'll get a halftime report. I'll get a quarter. Now, some teams were great and they gave us a halftime report, right, in the locker room. But a lot of teams didn't, because they just didn't have the manpower to do it. So if they can do that, that also helps us, because we can see, hey, how come we have 9 penalties for 75 yards and they have 1 for 5, and then but I mean, and again, I'm not saying it's the ref, I'm saying it might be us too. So if we have to make adjustments, that's another adjustment we can make if we have the data, is what I'm getting at.
Well, the data is, I've been waiting to release the quick ref report from last season. I haven't gotten the go ahead to do it. It's probably 150 pages. And it's interesting that, without mentioning teams, I know who the most penalized teams are just by watching the games. And sure enough, quick ref, boom, 1, 2, 3, just as I thought, because just watching the games, and the stats don't lie. Some teams just commit more penalties than other teams. So
Yeah.
it's just the way it is. And a lot
Some
of that is the
teams just have
like
referees that like to throw flags. Just sorry, Tommy. I had to give you one.
I can't do that. It's got to be big. We preach.
I
The
know.
foul has got to be big. It's got to have an effect.
I got
Otherwise,
you.
it's going to be a flag fest.
No, you know what? I completely understand where you're coming from on that. And, the biggest thing is if we can make Tom is one of the guys that wants to make our game the best it can be.
Yes.
And he, if we had a ref crew of 5 guys that were just like Tom, our game would be ridiculous. Everybody's game would be ridiculous. But what we have to do is work with what we have to a certain degree. And that's why his proposal, I hope some owners and coaches and players are listening to push this narrative through, that we get this proposal approved that Tom presented so we can move forward and he can start working on getting a schedule. And after the 31st, the schedule comes out on Halloween. How appropriate.
Trick or treat.
Um,
And I'm sure right after that you can get busy, right?
I'm just gonna say this: 80% of our officials are 1,000% dedicated to being the best they can, and it's unfathomable how much work they put in during the week, during the preseason. We start in December with the testing and everything else, and it's incredible. The Zooms, these guys, 80% of them think like me. They put the work in like me, because they just want to get better for outdoors. And then we've got the other 20% that, it's just doesn't come
They live
back
in
every
San
year.
Antonio. Yeah, I got you. No,
I'm not saying that. Some people put the work in. It shows who puts the
Right.
work in, and the rare
Yeah.
few that do not, that also shows. And we can't have that.
No, and
But
I agree.
until this is changed, it's going to continue.
I don't know his last name. I know his first name, Abe.
Abe worked our national championship game this past year.
Yeah. Where's his area though? Arizona, right?
He's out now. He's in Dukes. He was the Duke City referee.
Right, Duke City. That was the best referee I'd ever had in all of indoor football. He communicated.
Abe's one of our top guys.
He was absolutely fantastic. Now, I didn't agree with 100% of his calls, but I probably was wrong too at times. But his thing was communication. I told Tom this the other day. When you wave over a ref because you don't want to violate the numbers rule and coming out of the box and doing all that stuff, Abe would trot. If he was on the other side of the field, he would run over and explain it to me. I said, "Oh, okay, I got you. Good no call or good call," and then he'd go back. That's what you want. That's all you want. You want to be communicated with so you understand what you did or what you didn't do to accomplish a goal, so you can make the adjustment as a coach on how you alter that. If you don't get that communication, you're just guessing. Well, how come he called that, but he didn't call that? How come he did this because he didn't do that? But when they explain it to you, you go, oh, more often than not, I didn't argue with refs. I just said, okay, I got you. But when they don't, you make the assumptions.
Our referees, for the most part, are like Abe. They're just superb. You want to put them all in the championship game. Most of them are like that. They're dedicated. In fact, I'd say 2 of the top white hats in the NFL work indoor ball for me. In my opinion, they're the 2 best referees in the NFL right now. And 15 years ago, they were grinding in the indoor leagues. They'd work anywhere. They'd go anywhere. And that's the kind of guys that are 80% of our staff is like that. They're just very dedicated.
I don't disagree with that.
Mistakes? 100% we're going to make mistakes. You see it every weekend. On Saturdays and Sundays, we see it, during the fall. But it's it happens. Players fumble, quarterbacks throw interceptions, coaches make dumb calls. We all make mistakes. We just got to learn from it and get better. And that's the kind of staff that we strive to have. And 80% of the way there.
Yeah, we have when pregame, the refs, we exchange our rosters, and then the refs come into the coach's office and come to me, and they'll explain to me, introduce themselves. If there's a different white hat, or if there's a new ref, he'll come in and we have this conversation. They'll ask you anything we should look for, that kind of thing. So, I mean, I don't doubt they want to be good. I don't doubt that. Just like every player and every coach wants to be perfect, and we're not going to be, right? It's just a matter of, I think that I love the idea of being able to challenge PIs, and I love the idea of being able to it's an automatic review with 1 minute left to go in the game on any scoring plays. That's all I'm asking for. And I don't think that's a big ask. I don't. And I'm going to get on my soapbox, and I'm going to try to get that approved, because a lot of games get turned around like that, and seasons change because of it. So, but that's just my opinion. Tommy, anything else that you wanted to bring up about the IFL this year and the refs and our game in general?
No, I'm just kind of waiting for that schedule to come out and see how we go on that proposal, and we'll go from there. I'm just anxiously chomping at the bit.
You hear that, Mr. Commissioner? Okay.
Tell you, I retired I was an NCAA replay official, and I retired from that this year. And people told me, man, you're going to have a weight lifted off your shoulder, not having to do that in the fall. And were they right? And I'm like, what am I? Hey, I go to the beach every weekend now, but I got more time to get ready for, get ready for the IFL. I'm already starting training tapes, getting them ready for January.
You're like Big Tommy, you're a lifer. Yeah, you're a lifer like I am. So that's okay. You got to love football, though. I mean, that's that. If you don't love what you do, right? So, but Tommy, thank you so much.
We're certainly not here for the money.
Yeah, right. Amen to that, brother. But listen, hey, thank you so much for coming on. And Tom was actually going to come on next week, and
you need me next week, I'll come on.
All right, but we may, because I was surprised I didn't.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
I didn't see the questions pouring in like I thought, because
everyone thought it was going to be the following week. Yeah,
maybe.
But here's the thing: is that
what I'd like to do
next week is maybe you can come up with some video for us too, and you can talk.
I have to talk to your producer about how we get that, but yeah, I mean, I've got libraries, 13 years of libraries of tape, all categorized. Anything you want.
Right.
Any type of talk you want.
He did that. When we were doing the rules series, he sent me clips of what we needed. This was the example of.
And I'd say, here's an example of that. Anything you have, I've seen it all.
Yeah, I think what I'd like to do is, before the season starts again, do another rules show with Tom.
Okay.
And have Tom on talking about the general rules of the so new fans can do it. We love to educate our fans. Like when I was in New York, our fans were really, really smart. They were really, really smart. And our fans here in San Antonio are really, really smart. And they're not booing good calls, and they're not, they know when to be quiet, they know when to be loud, they know when to this, they know when to that. And I think a big part of it is the knowledge of the game. And so anytime we can all learn from it, and we'll do a show before the season starts that direction. But yeah, we'll have you on again real soon with some tape, and you can talk about
telestrated tape to show the fans, hey, this is what they see on a training tape. It's not just the tape. Yeah. It's the telestration. It's the voiceover. It's the going back and forth. This is a foul. This is a foul. This is a foul. The jokes we have in there, but it's fun.
Yeah,
we'll see some good stuff.
Tommy, thank you, buddy.
Sometimes.
I know,
My
right?
pleasure.
What's the point if you're not having fun? So, hey, thanks again, buddy. I appreciate you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, bud.
This has been Tom Falcinelli, the head of officiating for the entire Indoor Football League, and we're able to get him on the show. Well, I guess time to head to the fourth quarter then?
Yep, that'll do it.
All right. You asked for it. You got it. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in just a moment. You're watching Branded, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital, live from Embers Wood-Fired Restaurants.
Quality. Here at John Wayne, it's not just a word, it's our foundation. From the people we employ, to the service that's provided, to the equipment that we design and install, quality matters. For nearly 20 years, providing quality Texas comfort to the San Antonio area communities has been our highest priority. For quality you can count on, call John Wayne today.
John Wayne Service Company is a proud sponsor of the San Antonio Gunslingers.
Hey, what can I say? Comes with the job. 1 minute I'm making a one-hand catch on the sideline. Next minute it's lights out and I'm on the sideline. And that's why I like Complete Care, because they're fast, just like me. They have ultrasound, CAT scan, X-ray, and even on-site lab. So if you get sidelined, know where to go. Complete Care. Official sponsor of the San Antonio Gunslingers.
And welcome back to the fourth quarter, the decisive quarter. Randy Cole saying Tom Falcinelli should be in the NFL. I guess you missed that he was. Yeah,
he was.
he was.
Yeah.
And
Tom's a good guy. I mean, what a God. That's like
I wanted to ask if he wanted more subscribers.
Who is the CEO of an orphanage.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's got to be a miserable job too.
It is. It is.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of how bad that would be every day to, you're never right because someone always thinks you're wrong.
Well, I wonder,
like being a coach.
Yes, very, very much so. I wondered if he wanted more subscribers to his YouTube channel to watch those training tapes, because I got to tell you, I got a heck of an education off of those training tapes.
Well, I'll be, in all due respect to Tom, after about week 6, I'd watch him, but I wouldn't reply because it didn't matter to me, because they weren't changing anything.
Right.
They were horrible in San Antonio. They were absolutely atrocious.
Well, the other reason for watching them,
if you need to know how atrocious they are, how about the ejection of Kali Richard for running out the clock?
Yeah, I didn't understand it at the time.
Tom went nuts on that. He knew it was a bad call. But my point is that, so okay, I get mad and they say, "Oh, you know what, coach, you were right. They missed that call."
And that's not going to help me.
Now what?
Yeah, that's not going to help me.
Give me $1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, what is there? There's no. Here's the thing. Last year, there was no tit for tat. What happened was we would get a call, stupid call, ridiculous call. Whitehead wouldn't overrule it. They'd make the call, change the outcome of the game, because it's multiple times, change the outcome of the game. I know of 4 games out of the 8 losses that there's no way we should have lost, based on the analytics and based on the penalties and based on the time and how many points were taken away or given. And that puts us at 12-4.
That puts us in the playoffs.
And we're in the show, right? Yeah. So My thing is with no repercussion to it. Now, he can fire those guys, which I hope he does.
But that doesn't help our record.
It doesn't help our record. It doesn't help my meetings with Don and James. It
Right.
doesn't help me when I got to sit there and, well, how come we didn't do this? Or how come, now I'm not saying from Don and James, but from everybody, how come we didn't do this? And I look at him, I go, we did.
Right.
We did do that. Here, I'll show it to you. Here is why. Here is, this. So we talk about that. There's another thing we need to talk about. And I'm all for it. I just think it needs to be monitored closely. When we brought gambling into this, I think we have to have, like when I got into the NFL, the very first day in rookie symposium, and you're sitting there and they say, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. And they give us a list of things. One of those things is gambling.
Right.
To this day, 40 years of professional football, everything, playing, not counting playing, add more years, add another 5 of playing onto that. I've never bet on a pro football game. And I can still go bet on an NFL game now, and I don't do it because to me, it's been instilled in me that I can't do it because I'm part of it.
Right. It's a line you haven't crossed and won't cross.
I think we need to send out some literature to the new players, to veterans, to coaches, to owners, to referees, to TV people about what our policies are regarding gaming, what our policies are regarding any of those things whatsoever. So we need to figure it out. We need to figure it out. And all I want is more information. I'm not saying take it away. I'm just saying we need to have a policy on it. What was that all about?
My technical director is telling us he had a report that the stream had frozen.
I told you,
video wise, but the audio had not. So we are going to press on anyway.
How long was it out?
I don't know. Oh, it says we're back. See.
No, but how long was it out?
By the time you worry about it, it's
5
over.
minutes? From the beginning to now? Oh, the fourth quarter.
Beginning of the fourth quarter.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, wow.
I blame Ralph for everything.
Of course. That's what I'm here for. That's exactly
what a way
I'm
to
here
start season 2, everybody.
Absolutely.
It's not a party unless we break something.
I had a question about the schedule already.
Okay.
Saying the schedule going to remain where each team plays 16 games over 9 weeks with 3 byes. Yes. Monica,
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, I mean we're playing 8 home, 8 away. I've seen the draft of the first draft. I like it. I mean, I like when our bye weeks are. I like all that stuff. I hope they don't change ours. It's a good schedule. It's very fair. I was talking to Mike Davis today because we're playing a home and away with them, and they're coming in, and we talked about buses, and I'm going to pay for his bus when he gets here and take care of his transportation. When we go to Vegas, he's going to take care of ours. Now, that's why I love Mike. I mean, Mike and I are working on buses now, and we don't even have a schedule yet, but it's, in April's calling me, hey, do you have the schedule so I can start buying the plane tickets?
Don't.
That's why I love our people.
Right.
I mean, I love the people I work with and my friends in the league because we're all so passionate about it and we want to be on top of everything. So, it's one of those things where I think we just have to be, as far as the schedule goes, open to change. Once the first, Monica, here's how it goes. So we get a first draft, look at it. Everyone kind of makes the changes like, oh, we can't do this date. We have somebody in our arena, or we can't do this date for whatever reason. We're playing this team too many times, and so then we go to the second draft, which I think comes out this week. And if there's not any major changes, only maybe one team playing another team too many times, let's say, in the East, usually that happens. Then we'll turn around and do the third draft is the final draft. And so it's first one, just throwing darts. Pretty good idea. Second one is tightening it up really good. And then by then, when they say, yeah, then the third one comes out and it's not a draft. It's actually the schedule, which will be Tyron announced today that the schedule will be formalized in public by October 31st. So excited about that because then you can start planning, watching film,
buying
figuring
tickets.
out, people who are holding off on their season tickets.
Smack talking your friends in other cities.
Yeah. Hey,
Smack talking former
Dustin,
players.
Did Dustin come on tonight? Because he's on vacation. He was in Laughlin.
Yes.
Last time I saw him, he was at a casino.
Yeah, we're following him on Facebook.
With a girl that's way above his pay grade. Yeah. So, and he doesn't, I got two of the Rattler guys. So, he told me he was going to put some money on us for the championship, though.
Well, you might have to. Since Jen is in attendance and perhaps in the earshot of my voice, we did have a question from Joseph Rodriguez asking again, would there be any tailgating before games? Joseph, Jen says, yes, sir, with details to follow.
Yeah, that
Stand
was
by.
fun last year. I guess they had a great time at the tailgate we did.
Hey, listen, Jen loved putting it all together. It was a walk in the park.
Right,
it was nice and cool and shady, and she was able to enjoy herself the whole time.
So here's
none of this is true.
All right, Ralph, you're off the rails, buddy.
All right, we need to get back on. On track.
Here's what I'm thinking. Okay, so one of the things, believe it or not, this is a true story. I was coaching my kids, my sons, when they were going to Catholic school, and they were in Pee Wee. They were like, not Pee Wee, junior high, no, 7th, 8th grade. So I volunteered at St. Anne's Catholic school, and we would practice every day at like 3:30, 4 o'clock, right after school. We would have about 200 people at every practice tailgating.
Tailgating at a practice.
And they would bring us dinner almost every night. And we would have, I had nuns, priests, families, everybody. They would come out there. I even had nuns come on the field and grab a kid and take him back to school. But this is the old days, everybody. But we would have so many people enjoying it. Hey, I'm going to press this one more time. Okay. When the New England Patriots won a Super Bowl, Bill Belichick made a conscious effort of putting not the wins and losses on the ring, but the number of practices. And I will tell you as a coach, and I think every coach in the country will say the same thing, the most remarkable plays and individual effort happen at practice. When I came here, one of the big things I said was, I want to have open practices to our fans that can come every day and watch us. And there are times we have quite a few people out there, and then there's times there's nobody out there. And I get it. If it's 100 degrees and, you're baking out there, I get it. But we practice early, and I know people work, right? So I totally understand. Again, I'm going to make a schedule that works for our players, not necessarily, somebody else's schedule.
Right.
Because I have to worry about weather and keeping the players safe. But if you have an opportunity to come out, and especially during camp when we're on weekends, man, come out. Bring the kids, bring everybody, bring mama, and just have fun. And the players love it, and the fans love it. They get so into it. It's just a great opportunity, and you can start by doing that November 23rd, which is a Saturday at 9 o'clock in the morning, right? So, guys, we're almost 50 strong already signed up for the tryout. So I'm guessing as we get closer in the next 30 odd days, we'll probably add another 20 to that. So I'm guessing there's going to be about 70 kids, athletes trying out for the football team. I tell guys this. I gave you a copy of the new signings and the existing roster. I think we're at like 25 right now on our active roster. And with that, I always leave spots for tryouts. Last year we signed 3, and this year I'm very confident we'll at least sign a couple. So it can change your world. I mean, you can go from, we had one kid go from being a roofer to competing for a defensive end spot, right? So he signed. So you can get opportunities, and we had one kid at the tryout who stayed with us the whole year, Dante Eldridge. So again, if you look for opportunity, great, but prepare yourself for that opportunity. Don't come in.
Yeah, what kind of preparation? We talk about, come in shape, and round is a shape, but that's not what we're looking for.
No.
That's your joke. I'm just recycling it, Coach.
It sounds really bad. I'm not going to use it anymore.
Okay, sounds bad because I said it.
No,
Yeah.
I love you, Ralph. Okay.
So what does a young athlete that is trying to make a professional roster, not just indoor football, all rosters, what do you need to be ready to do at that? And what's your preparation need to look like to make an impression at a tryout?
Okay, so 15 years ago, I'm in my office and I'm watching film, and I called Susan in to the office and I said, watch this play, tell me who's the best player on the field. And we watched it once, and she goes, let me see it again. She watched the second time, she goes, that guy. And I go, yep. Stand out. Be special. Do something. Hey, you run a great 40, that might be your thing. Showing you have speed. You block well, that's your thing. You rush well, that's your thing. You catch balls, that's your thing. You throw balls, that's your thing. You kick field goals, that's your thing. But stand out. Don't be average. I tell guys this all the time that want to come and play. Let's say they're playing indoor football and go, my dream is to play in the NFL. And I said, okay, I get that. And they go, yeah, I think I'm better than this guy, and I think I can do this, and I think I can do that. And I always say the same thing. You only have to be better than that 53rd guy.
Right. In order to make the roster.
Make the roster.
Right.
Right. But that 53rd guy is great.
Right. Well, everybody in the NFL has the genetic gifts. And
I used to love going to pro basketball games. And I would always look. So you look at the bench and you always see those 3 white guys at the end of the bench. Right. One's like a 7-footer, a couple, one's a guard and one's a small forward. And they're all sitting at the end of the bench and they never take their sweats off, but they're cheering and they're that. And someone said to me one time, I wonder, I think I'm probably better than that guy. And I go, you don't understand. That guy was an All-American in college. And that guy is great. And if you played him one-on-one up to 100, the score would be 100-0.
Yep.
Okay. So it's the same thing with football. It's easy to project yourself in that position, but if you're not in that position, so stand out, make it obvious. It's just like making a football team. Make it impossible for me to cut you. Right? Because I can't cut you because you're too valuable. And that's what you want to do, is make yourself valuable. The value you bring is how you determine your career. So
Monica back with another question. I think she missed part of the show, may have stepped away.
Or we were blocked out or something.
Could be.
No,
could be. That could happen. Any chance of being able to stream the tryout?
No, we won't stream the tryout. But what we will do is we're going to have a special branded show there. And we will be periodically showing some clips of it. And we're going to make it. Yeah, Yeah, my guy just came by. He asked me for my carry out, so I said yes. But no, we're going to stream it, portions of it. We're going to have tryout people on the show. We're going to have the signings on the show. We're going to have sponsors on the show. It's going to be a fun show. It's going to be like a 4-hour thing, like kind of like the combine.
He says fun, but I'm the guy that's going to be on the whole time.
Oh yeah, you're going to be sitting on your ass with a microphone while I'm on the field.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No. No. And listen, we're going to have Jen's going to be on. We're going to have Robert on talking about his thing. We're going to have ticket sales people on. We're going to have. I'm sure we'll have April, Jordan, Don, James, Morgan. We'll have all those people on. Weston, when he can come by. All those people, you have 5-10 minutes of them and talk to them, so you get to know the whole organization as well. And it's a good opportunity to ask questions and learn more about us. But more importantly, you're going to get to see some really good football too while you're there. Other thing is this, Monica, I'm in the process right now of solidifying a preseason game. So during the first week of camp, the last couple of days of the first week, I'm organizing a preseason game that'll be played at Gunslinger Nation. And we're not going to stream it because obviously we don't want to put out all of our stuff. But it's an opportunity for fans to come and watch a game, watch the guys that are competing for their jobs for the last opportunity they might have, and get to see some good football. But we're going to do it outdoors on our indoor football field, and it'll be controlled, and we'll have refs and
we're pretty sure it's the only one in the nation.
I'm pretty sure it is. It's pretty special over there. We're going to be doing a show over there, not only for the tryout, but in the future, maybe in December or something like that. We'll do a Christmas show or something from the place and invite fans over to be a part of it.
Maybe Don Sled will come down.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah. You guys got to see this thing. But it's, the thing about it is that I think if people saw what we have, because when the players see it, even though Robert's the best at videoing it, it still doesn't do it justice.
Right. You've got to see this live.
Yeah. It's 5 acres of football heaven.
Yep.
If you build it, they will come. This is what they were talking about.
And they're signing. And come on out, San Antonio, and you don't have to sit outside the fence. You can come on inside, bring a lawn chair.
Yep.
You like sitting on the tailgate of the truck, you can do that too. You got a great view from the parking lot. Got to get there early though.
Yeah, it fills up pretty fast. Yeah, but it's fun though. It's just where are you going to go on a like Saturday at 9 a.m. unless your kids got soccer or something? It's a great family deal. Put a cooler in the back of the truck and come on out. Bring a couple of chairs with you and spend the morning. And I'm sure there's going to be, Jen, are there going to be any giveaways or anything at the tryout? Really? Fans too? So there's going to be giveaways. Okay. So yeah, and we'll do door prizes, maybe a raffle or something too, or yeah, we'll do something fun. I can't say raffle because that would be wrong, but I didn't say raffle. I didn't mean raffle. I meant a drawing of lottery type. No, a drawing. Yeah, it'll be fun. Compliments of complete care.
Another one of our great gunslinger team family sponsors. Yeah.
Lori's there for everything.
Part of the family. Yes.
I need a case of tape, right? It's there. She's great.
Now, Joseph Rodriguez is asking a deep strategic question, perhaps the last one we can take here late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, sorry.
Are there going to be any future builds on that property? Specifically, he said dormitory.
My dream My dream, mind you, would be to put I wouldn't call it a dorm. Well, maybe you call it a dorm, but I'd call it more like an apartment thing that's just set up for football, right? Where you have, can you imagine every player, and then knowing Don, he'd put a pool there or something too. But I mean, just to have your own dorm on site where the guys are, you're not locked in. So, but it's just so convenient and so special and I think I'll be honest with you, I think it's probably really cost effective after a while too.
When you consider the cost of a hotel and food, and
food's always going to be a thing, right? But if
but
that's
if
what
it's
that's
always
when we
there,
but that's when we tell Jen to go get us
a
grocery store partner that gives these guys food cards, and then they have their own
grocery
kitchen.
store or restaurant that wants to loan us a chef.
Right. No, listen, these kids can cook. All right. You want to eat some good barbecue. You got to come to one of the player barbecues to get some of that. They know what they're doing. Yeah. So, but I mean, that's a dream, and that's out of my lane. That's a Don Rackler question. But I think, he's a visionary and he's always looking for that. And I think and I want to preface this properly, the way he's going to do that kind of stuff or do more building or whatever, I'm about an amphitheater, tailgate area, all that kind of stuff. Buy a ticket to a game. Okay. Buy a ticket to a game.
Yeah. Show us your support. Show us your love.
Yeah. That's what he wants to do. He wants you. Hey, listen, he's given so much to this city and this community, gladly, mind you. The way you show him you appreciate it, and you're never going to be able to repay him for everything he's done, but it shows him that you're with his same narrative, and but again, he's done more than enough. We need to bring him a championship is what we need to do. And then after that, that's when I start asking for stuff. I ain't asking for nothing till we win. So let's see how that goes first.
Sounds like a good closing thought here for the fourth quarter. We'll be back to wrap this one up. It's been a long episode, but it's been an interesting episode. We'll be back to wrap this up in just a moment. You're watching Branded Live from Embers Wood-Fired Restaurants, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital.
It's the high school football season, the most exciting time of the year.
That's right, Greg, and John Wayne Service Company is in on the action with Texas Sports Productions.
Watch and listen to the hundreds of games this season on the all-new TSP app, and vote for the John Wayne Player of the Game during the games and the John Wayne Player of the Week beginning on Sundays during the season.
Go to johnwayne.com to vote and be automatically entered to win a $10,000 home makeover.
Get in the game today with TSP
and John Wayne Service Company.
Hey, San Antonio, are you tired of the same old chain pizza that tastes like cardboard? I thought we were done eating paper in school. Maybe not. It's up to you. At Matanga's, we bring you flavors that are authentically Texan. We're talking about fresh dough that we made in store every single day. We're talking about cheese that's shredded in store for that authentic cheese flavor. We're talking about brisket because this is Texas, y'all. We're talking about our Texas roll. Can't get those anywhere else. We're talking about Texas ranch because when you put jalapenos and ranch together and you dip it in with pizza, just drink it. Lastly, we got a pothole pizza because we had to name a pizza after our roads. You know what I'm talking about. Can't wait to see you soon. Find a Matanga's near you.
All right, team, huddle up. Just like in surgery, we need precision and teamwork. Trust me, just like on the field, if we stick to the playbook, we'll achieve excellence.
Coach, are you sure about this?
We've trained for this. We're experts. The San Antonio Gunslingers and South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital and Outpatient Center, where precision meets performance.
And that'll do it for this episode of Branded, wrapping up our season premiere. Yeah, he was saying about 5 minutes of the fourth quarter was bad.
I think we lost some comments too.
Must have.
Because when Tom came on, everything stopped. Either that or, and I can't believe that people didn't have questions about the refs.
They had one chance to talk to the head of officiating of the entire IFL that they've been complaining about.
Well,
or everyone wants to know. It's like this, that, or the other. And,
so we'll
get
Tom back on for that.
Yeah,
we had Q&A with Tom.
We had the big fish himself for the IFL. Make sure you have liked and subscribed before you go. That always helps us here. Thank you very much for the viewers that stayed with us all night long.
Sorry about the technical difficulties.
It happens. New location. We will get better. Thank you for joining us on Twitter, YouTube, and on Facebook. And now it's time for that special moment with the coach.
Well, first of all, Miss Susan's traveling, so travel safe, honey. I love you and I miss you. And to Mila, Liliana, and my man Eli, it's time to go to bed. Papu loves you. Good night.
This has been Branded for October 16th, 2024. And as always, keep your guns up. Good night, everybody.